Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Christmas Day 1982 edition of Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling. We continue our foray through that run here, and of course, we've got what's available on the network starting in September of 81 through the entire year, or almost entire year, 48 out of 52 episodes of 1982. We're going to go into 1983 and beyond here. Bob Caudle out, and he's basically endorsing the return of Steamboat and Youngblood, who are new in the area. Steamboat and Youngblood, or not new in the area, but returning to the area after their various forays into things here. And of course, Steamboat and Youngblood are returning after the injury to Youngblood and Youngblood being out of commission for a little while. Monty and White are here, and basic concept, basic run. Not exactly a terribly challenging tag team match by any stretch of the imagination. Monty and White are trying to get actually. Looks almost like Nelson and White, but anyway, Nelson gets the attempted, and it is, but Nelson gets the attempted Cobra Clutch on and kind of rolls through, and finally, Jay Youngblood beats Nelson with the I guess reversal of the Cobra Clutch. First time we've seen that on Mid-Atlantic television, somebody getting out of the Cobra Clutch maneuver, and Jay Youngblood having had time to study while he was laid up. Youngblood saying there's multiple ways out of the hold, and Double Down is the team of Steamboat and Youngblood on the reality that they are going to eventually win the tag team championships here. That was a highlight thing there, and from a previous week. And then, of course, their tag team return against Monty and his tag team partner. Pretty basic here. Steamboat and Youngblood coming back, much to the delight of the fans, and they are in control for the majority of the match. Russian leg sweep added to the arsenal of Jay Youngblood, and he manages to use that pretty well. Frank Monty is not exactly a guy worth writing home about. A bit of an afro, kind of a decent enough looking guy. They do the double kick, and ultimately a win for the team of Steamboat and Youngblood, who have promised to be your tag team champions as we go into 1983. What a Christmas present that would be, even if it's late. The one-man gang returns to action here in Mid-Atlantic, and that is a one-man gang and Ron Ritchie run here. Gang, hooks up and hits a couple of shots along the way. Splashes in the corner, bear hugs and the like, and the one-man gang, who doesn't look to be in the best physical condition at the time. Red singlet and singlet, and manages to hook up on the bear hugs and other maneuvers because, well, trying to get him over as a larger guy, but also other than maybe a power slam here or there, which isn't a bad move for a guy 400 pounds. They're not letting Gang do a heck of a lot here. Then we move to another in the series of matches, which happens to be a Dory Funk match. Dory Funk Jr., what a major difference that is. He's facing off against Mark Fleming. Mark Fleming, relatively new guy in the area, one or two enhancement talent matches. Fleming gets him back into the ropes a little bit, doesn't get everything he wants on that, but manages to get a couple of push-offs, and Funk manages to be in control. Hits a suplex from the outside in. Funk breaks things down to the best of his ability and punch kick under the lights. And I love the I've never mentioned it before, but I'll mention it here. Love the flags, the hanging flags, the British flag, the U.S. flag, the Canadian flag, the internet Japanese flag and the Australian flag in the studio. Just kind of a cool touch. And Funk having some difficulty keeping his opponent down on the mat and kind of rolls through. Funk manages to get the spinning toe hold on and eventually gets the victory because of the spinning toe hold, as one would expect, since it's his father's hold. Again, Funk wonders where the competition is, thinks that people are trying to blackball him in an interview, and manages to make it very clear that he doesn't care who and where. He wants competition, and he wants it to the best of everyone's ability. Sweet Brown Sugar is up next in a match here with, let's see, Ken Timms. And Timms, tries to go at him. Sweet Brown Sugar shows a little bit more speed than average and takes his man down. Head scissors and a basic roll through. Timms does manage to get a bit of an advantage brawling, dropping knees. However, when they send him into the buckle and or whenever Sweet Brown Sugar can get an advantage, it's pretty well there. Return of the Mid-Atlantic champion Jack Briscoe is also here. He talks about being a fighting champion going into 1983 and beyond, and Roddy Piper wants Ric Flair back again, and Valentine, and anyone associated with Flair for the most part. Jack Briscoe is in your next match here. Jack Briscoe against Joe Lauren, and not exactly a match that is anything but one-sided. Briscoe does, though, manage to get hooked up in a bear hug from Lauren for a little bit. Has to fight his way down. One thing that I will say about Jack Briscoe is his offense looks more convincing than average. Briscoe, though, manages to get the front face lock and then the figure four leg lock. Orton Jr. against Fucci is here, and he kind of goes around with it and manages to. Fucci grabs onto the arm of Orton Jr. and manages to hang with him a little bit. Orton Jr., though, manages to eventually go to the top rope and kind of hit what we later know as almost a Vader bomb and gets a splash victory from the second rope on the inside. Orton is in phenomenal shape, and Jack Briscoe again. Second promo on the day basically says he'll fight anybody, anywhere. Orton says the equivalent of the same. Highlights from Florida this time as eventual bring in, which is Bruiser Brody coming to the Carolinas. Before, and basically Brody running through with kicks, clotheslines, and the like. Brody basically put as by the House of Humperdinck, a hired mercenary and a guy who is all but unstoppable. We move to Pork Chop Cash and Greg the Hammer Valentine here. Not exactly a guy in Pork Chop Cash that's going to give Valentine a great deal of challenge, but we do see Valentine coming back and pretty aggressive, assertive, as Valentine manages to punch, kick, and chop his way into a position of authority with Pork Chop Cash. Stays on the arm, almost choosing the arm over going after the leg during the early stages. Pork Chop Cash backs up Valentine several times and manages to hit a couple of kind of arm bars and dropping the knee across the bicep, and Valentine gets the victory. Dory Funk Jr. once again closes the program, asking us where the competition is. Confrontation between Piper and Valentine over the Mid-Atlantic Championship to close the program. Also, Dory Funk Jr. standing in the way there. Kernoodle also alongside Valentine. One thing I like is that heels were friends with heels in the early 80s, and babyfaces were friends with babyfaces in the early 80s, and it made sense. So hopefully that's helpful. We will be back with the start of 1983 right after this.